subject of today's video is something that we've all got to get right. Hello there, and welcome to Be More Zebra. So, the reason why I'm all about the zebra is because for me, the zebra represents something amazing. If you think about what a zebra is, it's a horse that doesn't mind standing out. So really, it's representing your unique individuality. And this jumper has been kindly gifted to me by Jigsaw, the luxury fashion brand. So thank you very much to Jigsaw for supporting my series for emotional well-being and mental health. So today's video is the first video supporting all of my videos, because I believe the subject of this video is something that if we don't get it right, we suffer in all sorts of ways. So I believe that the subject of today's video is something that we've all got to get right, and that is our sleep. So now there are some really worrying statistics about how many people can't sleep well. Now, let me just give you my definition of what sleeping well is. When you go to sleep at night, you put your head on your pillow and you're falling asleep within 10 to 15 minutes. And then you stay asleep pretty much all night, unless you need to get up for some kind of emergency, or you need a wee or something like that. But even if you have to get up in the night and you deal with whatever you need to deal with, you go back to bed and you can fall asleep immediately. And quite often in the morning, you're waking up just before your alarm goes off, or when you wake up, because your alarm has woken you, you feel ready and refreshed enough to start the day. And that is a consistent pattern. Now, if you've got that going on, you don't really need to be watching this video. Skip to the next one, because then your sleep pattern is brilliant, it's sufficient, it's efficient, it's productive, and it's topping you up in the right way, physically, mentally, and emotionally. If, however, your sleep system doesn't match what I've just said there, then keep watching, because hopefully I will be offering you some tips and techniques to help you get a better night's sleep regularly and get the sleep habit working for you rather than against you. Now, let me quickly explain why sleep is so crucial to our emotional well-being and our mental health. It is a fundamental. Now, I'd like to share with you a thing that I made earlier. Okay, so this is an emotional stress bucket, as you can see. That's what it's written on there. Imagine that we have one of these inside our brain, kind of like a bit like a waste paper bin, you know, in your house, or anything that you'd throw and chuck rubbish into. So like the bins in your house, you know, there'll be a collection date every so often where you can go and stick the bin out and somebody will collect the rubbish and you'll be returned back with an empty bin. Now, this is what is happening in our brain at night. So our daily life brings with it things and stresses and stuff and tasks. All of this stuff, imagine that that's a ball of stress, you know, it's kind of not too big, but it's just a little thing, and it just gets into our bucket as we fill up our day. Our bucket fills up. And then at night, when we're going to sleep, you know, we've got a pretty full up bucket there. So what we need to do is, by the morning, we need to have emptied the bucket. So we're starting our day again with an emptier bucket. Now, it might not be that we're able to empty the bucket completely, but we're definitely emptying it to about here, so then the new day can pile on its stress without these balls falling out, basically. Now, if you can't sleep well, and I'm going to explain to you what the sleep system does for the stress bucket as you're asleep. But before I go on to that, I wanted to say, if you get bigger balls of stress inside the bucket, then what can happen is that those bigger balls go in and these little ones kind of come out, if that makes sense. And that can cause emotional overwhelm in the brain. And that's why we can feel perhaps a little bit disorientated, discombobulated, we can't think straight, and things feel a little bit too much to handle, to cope with. Now, what happens in our sleep system when we go to sleep efficiently and productively is, as we're falling asleep, from our light sleep, we go down into REM sleep. Now, REM sleep is also known as dreaming and also known as trance. So when you're in REM, you're also dreaming and you're also in trance. What that is doing for your stress bucket is basically creating a hole here in the bottom of the bucket, so all of the day's stress comes out of the bucket this way. If you're not able to sleep properly, or if you're REM interrupted, that means you're waking up frequently in the night, that will suggest that your bucket is way too full. Because we go through periodic times of REM, if you think about the sleep system, it's like a wave, like this. Starts off with light sleep, then it goes into REM sleep, then it goes into deep sleep, then it goes into what we call somnambulistic, which is a bit like, a tree could fall on your house and you wouldn't wake up. And our sleep cycle is going like this through each of those waves of sleep, right? So if you just imagine that, so when you're going into REM here, 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 that's probably about 6 or 7 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes of REM in your whole sleep system. It works out to be about 30, 35 minutes in trance. If you took the whole of your REM and squashed it together, it would mean that it would be about 30 minutes, 35 minutes of trance, of REM time. That's why hypnotherapists put their clients into trance for 30 minutes, because it simulates a whole night of REM, which is a whole night of bucket emptying. So then when you're able to get that much bucket emptying going on, then you're generally able to sleep better the next day. So that's why hypnotherapy is a very good solution for sleep issues and to absolutely get rid of stress in the brain. Now, think about what stress is doing in the brain. As your emotional stress bucket gets full, your messaging system goes into, okay, there's too much stress in the system, therefore I must stay on high alert. Now, when you're trying to go to sleep at night, if there is too much in the bucket, it's almost as if the opposite happens. You can't go to sleep because your brain is too switched on to high alert, because it's thinking that your life is in some kind of danger. And I know that sounds a little bit extreme, but if you think about it, if there's too much stress in the stress bucket, the message that's getting transferred from the brain to the body is that I'm not safe, I'm in some kind of danger, there's some kind of threat around. So therefore, it won't let you switch off completely, and it will keep waking you up just to make sure that there are no tigers and lions in your room. Does that make sense? So I know I've just talked through this really quickly, and if there are bits you don't understand, maybe just replay the video. Or if you still need me to explain something that you didn't quite get, just send me a message and I can tell you what I mean. So ideally, we should be getting through this stress bucket in every sleep cycle. Now, unfortunately, if you have insomnia, you're not getting through the stress bucket. It's making it more full, and then it's causing more insomnia. Now, that is a vicious cycle. So that's why it's really important to find ways that you can find to empty your stress bucket. It doesn't have to be hypnotherapy. It's just something that helps you engage with your parasympathetic nervous system instead of your sympathetic nervous system. What is the difference there? So your parasympathetic nervous system switches on when you feel calm and relaxed. Your sympathetic nervous system switches on when you're in moments of stress and tension. So that's why hypnotherapy talks you down into deep states of relaxation. Because when you go into relaxation, you can't be stressed. Nobody can be stressed and relaxed at the same time. So that's why hypnotherapy teaches deep, deep relaxation. And you repeat that over and over and over again. And as you practice deep relaxation and repeat it over and over and over again, it becomes a coded in new habit. So when you then go into sleep systems at night, your bucket is much more reduced. You're much more likely to stay asleep and keep the REM going. So you're much more likely to wake up in the morning with an emptier bucket. And this has taken away the negative cycle of stress and sleeplessness and actually moved you in to relaxation and calm, and therefore the next stop is sleep. If we're not getting good quality sleep on a daily and nightly basis, then it will have a really, really direct impact on the way we think. And then, of course, if we're not thinking straight, our behavior gets a bit twonky, and then we behave in a more of a overprotective or defensive way. And therefore, we perhaps don't take on the right things. We don't think about the right things. Perhaps we take on too much, and it's just basically cause that negative cycle again. So we've got to be able to empty our bucket to think straight. We've got to be able to think straight to modify our behaviors and change the way we are in the world. And once we change our behaviors, our experiences change and we change our reality. And that is what I would like to happen to you. If you're an ineffective sleeper, we just need to figure out how to get your sleeping back on track, getting your stress bucket empty, and helping you move into deep relaxation and calm on demand. And that's nice, isn't it? Well, thank you so much for watching this, and hopefully I'll see you in video number 2, where we will be talking about confidence. So, have a nice day. Remember to be more zebra. Bye.